What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we will have a love interest in Hogwarts Legacy. So, a few weeks ago, we talked about friends and we talked about relationships. I did mention a crush, a love interest, and I was considering, funny backstory, I was considering having this video be like, can we have a crush? But you know what? I wanted to go all the way. I will go so far to introduce the word love. Now, what makes it difficult, what makes it more interesting, I would say, than a normal open world RPG. You know, you have Mass Effect, you have Dragon Age, you have Witcher, you can go down the line. There are so many of them. There's so many really good ones, right? A lot of the ones that we have compared Hogwarts to and said, hopefully it can take this, hopefully it can be better than that. Those are all pretty easy when it comes to love interest. You're fully grown adults. A lot of them are M-rated, right? So the highest rating, I guess you could technically go higher to adult rating, but nobody does that. And obviously, you can do some stuff. You can play around in more than just one way of me even saying that, right? When it comes to Hogwarts Legacy, we talked about the rating before. Could it be a T for teen game? I do think it probably leans that way. So how far could we go with a love interest? What could we do with a love interest? Those are some of the, and will we have one in general? Those are the things I want to try to talk through in this video. As always, especially if you guys are new here, firstly, welcome. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these Hogwarts Legacy videos go up. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, we're getting very close to 2,000 followers. Make sure you guys are. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. I try to make a new Hogwarts video every 4 or 5 days. And the final thing is I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, any future video topics that you'd want me to talk about, definitely let me know in the comments below, okay? So let's talk about the different aspects of this. Will we have a love interest? I think that's a slam dunk, you know what I mean? Now, love interest, meaning girlfriend or boyfriend. Now, I know we talked about the other day about the character creation, how you can basically do, and people pointed out too, it's not even exactly transgender stuff because you're really just putting one voice with the opposite gender's body, right? Which isn't exactly going all the way. But let's, for the sake of things, and this is how I would do it anyway. Let's just say boy and girl. Okay, so you can have a boyfriend, you can have a girlfriend. I guess technically you could go into could you have relationships with the same gender. That'll be interesting because while we know how the character creation works a little bit, we don't know about that. So if I'm a guy, can you have a relationship with a guy? Now, those are separate conversations that I don't even all that much care about having. Doesn't really matter. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's just relationships just in general. If you can, that's awesome. Again, I think that's going to appeal to a group of people. If you can't, whatever. Okay, whatever. Again, I think the Kotakus of the world, the IGNs of the world, they'll be mad. I don't really think any of us normal people will be all that mad. But I do think we will have what you would consider a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I would imagine there's only a select few you can have. Now, again, you go to The Witcher, you go to Mass Effect, you go to Dragon Age, you go to all these games, and that's kind of how it is. There's only certain people in these games that you can romance, right? For Mass Effect, there's only like a handful of them. Now, there could be some that you would want to romance that you actually can't, right? They're too much of a side character. So that's something to keep in mind as well, that there'll probably only be a handful of characters that you can do, which again does go into the conversation that we've had about characters in general, right? With like friends, how many friends do we want to have? Like, are we expecting 5 or 6? Are we expecting like 10? Are we expecting like an indefinite amount? Remember, some of the leaks had said that that the characters, they kind of randomized themselves. Now, I don't believe that leak, and I don't think that's really a good idea to do for this. I mean, I get the appeal. I get why that would be kind of cool, and that would be very, very different, but I just don't think that would help build a bond with anybody, right? Because if you're constantly switching characters, and I guess, again, the leak did say, like, once you start actually developing a relationship with a character, then they stay in the game. I don't think a game like Hogwarts Legacy could handle. I mean, we're talking, that's some sophisticated AI, that's some sophisticated systems that very few games can even do. I doubt Hogwarts Legacy would be able to do it. So I do think we'd have them, okay? I do think they would be kind of a short list of characters. So by the way, what I mean by that is like a couple per house and a couple for each gender. So like if you're in Gryffindor, maybe there are 2 females and 2 males that you could be friends with. You could maybe you maybe have to choose whether you want to date them or have a relationship with them or whatever, but there's only a handful per house. Another thing we haven't really talked about too, and I wanted to make it a video, I just didn't know how to title it, and maybe I will in the future, is like how the house system works, about like quests, about characters, like can I romance somebody from Slytherin if I'm a Gryffindor? Like, could you do that? I'd hope yes, even though, honestly, I would kind of expect, so I would hope yes, but I would honestly expect no. That would kind of be my answer there. But again, we'd have to kind of see how that all plays out. Now, what would you do with them? Well, that's a great question. To be honest with you, I don't really know. To me, it would kind of just be a one-up or an addition to having friends. And again, we don't even know what that situation is either. Do you have, now, I'd imagine you have to do like activities with them. I would like them to do, I mean, my golden child, Witcher is obviously a very much a golden child of open world games. Mass Effect is one that I'm like more deeply just because I actually played all through the Mass Effect 2 and 3, whereas I didn't play all the way through Witcher 3. For like Mass Effect, you know, if you don't do the character, so like Miranda, if you want to romance her, you need to do those specific missions to Miranda. You really need to build up that bond. If you don't do her specific mission or bring her along and all that kind of stuff with like other missions, you really don't have a chance of doing much with her. You know what I mean? So that is something that I would like to adopt. I would like Hogwarts Legacy to basically steal for themselves, and that's fine, in this game, where maybe you have a party. Maybe you can bring certain people with you on missions. Obviously, you can talk. You can develop relationships. Like, they'll notice which characters fit, and you could have kind of flirty dialogue choices with them. And then when you, and then again, maybe there's like a quest arc that you can do with that character, and you have to do it with that character in order to romance them. Or there's like a final mission with that character, something like that, I would imagine. And that's how you would, I would say, develop the relationships and be in one at the same time. In terms of like what you'd actually do, like kissing, I think that's as far. I think it's kind of, you know, some people would say like we're really kind of getting to the nitty gritty of how mechanics in the game works. I mean, we have nothing else to talk about, and we don't know when the next time we're going to see this game is, right? So we do have to kind of enter these unknown territories. I'd imagine kissing. I don't know if people want to do other stuff, but let me tell you really quickly and straight up. If you're a fifth-year student, you're like, what, 16, 15, 16? You're kissing. That's all I would imagine, especially, again, also being a T for teen game, probably. I would imagine that's all you would do. And for a game like this, I was going to say in general, you don't need to do much more. I guess that's not true. For a game like this, you don't really need to do much more, okay? A thing that's important, too, is the rumor, and this was an early rumor. This is something that I do generally believe more in than, like, the leaks and rumors that we've talked about over the last couple months, is that, remember, by the end of the game, you're like a full-grown adult. Now, I could easily see that, and if you end the game, like your playing time with the game, with a relation, like with a partner, if you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, when you age and you're an adult, you will have married that person, okay? Or maybe you have a kid. It would kind of even be like the jump in Harry Potter, to be quite honest with you. So I think that is fine. We've seen that, been done before. I think that works, okay? And again, there's more you can go into it. Maybe it helps buff something of yours, like having a specific character be your love interest. Maybe it unlocks a certain skill or ability or item or like a skin of your wand or, something. I feel like that would be kind of smart, right? Even like if you do with a Persona. So I'm playing through Persona 5 right now. Amazing game. But like as you develop your relationship with your friends, and the friends are obviously broken down into kind of different categories. One of them actually is like a lover. They unlock different things. Like you gain XP by doing certain things with them. You have like things unlocked in the battle system with that character the more you kind of get a relationship with them. So there's definitely more they can do overall with it. And I'm honestly really excited to see how it goes. One of the things I'm most interested in this entire game is how the friends work, how relationships work, how dialogue works, how a love interest works, all that stuff. I'm really interested to see how deep they may, or not deep. If they don't make it deep, I think that would kind of be a problem. That's something we would talk about, right? But that really is something I'm very, very interested in. So that's all I got for something like this. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think, again, something like I was kind of mentioning, like skills or like additional things they can kind of tie into having a relationship? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. Follow me on Twitter, podcastnow15. And again, I try to make these videos once every 4 or 5 days. Suggestions are always welcome. If I pick one from your suggestions, I'll be sure to shout you guys out in a video. Hopefully, we get some news soon, like within the next couple months, because I am kind of running out of ideas, but it's okay. We will continue this series for as long as we need to, okay? Thank you for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.